Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. It's time for yet another and the final of 2024 Raw review. That is right. This will be the final Raw review on this channel for the rest of 2024. As I, of course, announced last month that in November and December, not sure when in January yet, I will be taking a break from reviewing Raw and SmackDown weekly, as I'm just a couple weeks away from the birth of my first child. And I want to just, get adjusted, get situated with that, just kind of get used to my new routine, and also enjoy the holidays as well. So because, of course, next week is pay-per-view week, and I will be doing a preview for Crown Jewel, even though I'm not going to lie, I am not looking forward to it. I'm not that excited for the show. I don't care about the Crown Jewel Championships. I mean, I am interested in seeing Cody versus Gunther, because that's a dream match of mine. But the stipulations for it, I don't care. Right now, the only match I care about that much, storyline-wise, is Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. That was made official on Raw this week as well. And I loved what they did with them throughout the entire 2-hour show. So I will be previewing that. And then, like I said, I will still be doing content. But again, the channel will be going a little unstructured as I adjust into my new job of fatherhood this coming November. So we'll be 4 weeks away from when this the latest we will be having our baby by. So, like I said, because of that, I just want to sit back a little bit, go a little unstructured on the channel for a couple months, and then once I get settled in, I will come back, and, again, we'll just see, what I can and cannot do. So, I wanted to end the last Raw review on a bright note for 2024. Unfortunately, my mood just got shot completely. I just got done recording episode 4 of the Vince McMahon docuseries, and my microphone crapped out on me at the very end. So now I'm going to... Luckily, I just had to record the outro. But now, because that can be a little bit of a pain sometimes because of how large the files are and putting them into my editing software sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain. I had to edit that. So my mood got shot a little bit. So I'm trying to get my enthusiasm back up. Because I want to end this... I want to have my last Raw review of the year and SmackDown this week, of course, also on a bright note. And I almost did these live, but I just didn't have the time to prepare for them live. But they will be premiering both on YouTube, maybe later on tonight, if not tomorrow afternoon. I haven't decided yet when they will premiere, but of course, by the time you're watching this now, you know that, they're here. But yeah, let's talk about Raw. I have a lot to say. First off, Raw was actually not too bad this week. I mean, some questionable things, but some interesting things as well. The main event, of course, was chaotic. I love, of course, mostly what they did with Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. I like that we got more attention on the tag teams. I'm not sure how I feel about the winners of the matches, if I'm being honest. But I like, kind of what we have going, basically. And we also set up a new feud that I'm intrigued to be in, and that is the Wyatt 6 and the Final Testament. Some stuff with the women, that was okay, so to me. Again, I don't know, just because, again, I just can't get into this women's tag team division. I don't understand the concept of the whole thing with these women's tag titles or the depth of the division. I don't get, of course, what the heck Damage Control is. Are they faces? Are they heels? I still can't tell. I keep feeling like that they're faces, but then you have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, who were positioned as baby faces on SmackDown this past week. Now they're heels again on Raw. Like, I'm confused where that goes as well. And even the stuff with, like, Liv and Raquel, which they kind of inserted themselves to the women's tag title picture, which you kind of figured. That stuff, even with Rhea, it's getting to a point now where it's like, okay, this has been fun, but we might have to just take a break from it. I get it, there is unfinished business with it. I mean, I know the screwed up finish at Bad Blood kind of messed it up. But it's kind of the thing where it's like, I think we need to take a break from this for a few minutes. You know what I mean? But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about also, before we get started, some shocking news that I did a TikTok on that surprisingly, well, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but that's gotten a lot of attention for me so far. On TikTok, this video has almost 6,000 views on it. Almost the most I've had. I think the most I have is my John Moxley video on TikTok. And it got me over the 200 follower mark on TikTok. So I thank you guys for that. But Samantha Irvin announced on Monday this past week, she is departing the WWE. Shocked a lot of us for sure. My wife, of course, thought it was going to be happening whenever Ricochet left. And a lot of people immediately speculated she's going to AEW. Well, it sounds like it's been shot down for now that she's going to AEW. Apparently, Samantha has been talking about leaving for a while. As there's just some bigger opportunities. What they are yet, I don't know yet for sure. I've seen some rumblings. Maybe something with her being a singer or a few other things as well. But a bigger opportunity has come up for her, it seems like. So it seems like this was being considered before she even, before Ricochet even left. Because a lot of people thought she's only leaving to go to AEW with Ricochet. But it seems like there's more to it. Could she still go to AEW? Maybe. And if she does, all power to her. But it's definitely a big loss for sure. Samantha Irvin has definitely become a huge favorite in the entertainment industry. She was a phenomenal ring announcer. You know, I definitely think she could already make a case as being a Hall of Famer. But she's talented. She's loved by everyone. She is unique. She's just a lightning in a bottle. Or even bigger than that. So this definitely, yes, this is a huge loss for WWE for sure. But I respect she's accepting other opportunities. It's life. It happens. So she's definitely going to be missed. So then I wonder, who's going to replace her? Because I mean 100% real. I've probably mentioned this a few times. I'm not a fan of Alicia Taylor. I'm not. She just comes across as a Samantha Irvin wannabe. Like, when I see her speaking to the microphone, it looks like she's imitating the way Samantha would announce, but the passion's just not on the same level as Samantha had. So that could just be me overreacting, but I'm just not a big fan of hers. We did, though, already get Samantha's replacement. And probably because it's been gone for a while. And funny enough, they teased something on Raw like recently with her as a guest in the audience. And they announced it here on Raw this week, replacing Samantha. And they also did, that's something, of course, that, Vince wouldn't do. He wouldn't acknowledge Samantha's hard work. So WWE acknowledged Samantha's hard work in being in the show. And replacing Samantha is returning Lillian Garcia, which is awesome to see. She was a little rusty though this week, though. That's no secret. I think she did botch something in the first entrance she was announcing. She's a little rusty, but it's great to have Lillian back. I heard she went on leave. She left because somehow I think she was trying to attend for her father, who definitely needed the assistance at the time. Which that's the case, though. Respect for sure. But yeah, I was definitely, shocked that Samantha left. But again, it's her life, her career. She can do what she wants. She's going to be great wherever she goes. And good to see Lillian back. So we have that piece of news as well. We'll talk about something else that happened when we get to it a little later on in the show. But yeah, so that was all made there. But the show actually opened up with showing people coming into Raw. And then we see Bronson Reed walking in, pushing in a suitcase. And you see someone run from behind. It's like, is that who I think it is? And it was Seth Rollins. Blindsides Bronson Reed. He even whacked a few times with his suitcase. And then just makes his way down to the ring. Gets out there, no BS, no soaking in his song. He had them cut the music, and he says, come on, Bronson, you want to be famous? Come out here and let's fight. So, Bronson does try to come out, but Adam Pearce and security, they try to do the whole, break it up, the whole let them fight, but of course they broke free several times and brawled. Several teases, of course, of the tsunami. And of course, the closest he came was Seth was laid out on the announce table, and Bronson went for the dive, but Seth barely, inches away, rolls out of the way, and Bronson goes through the table. And later on, of course, there was a few segments where you see Bronson backstage, the camera cuts to Bronson backstage, bam! You immediately see Seth Rollins attacking him. It was just you didn't even get a second to, take in what was going on. Bam! They were right back fighting again. Finally, Adam Pearce broke it up, and he made the match official for Crown Jewel. There's no stipulation to it, though. I really thought, based off of Pearce's promo last week, I really thought they were going to make this an unsanctioned match. They still could. There's one more week left before Crown Jewel. You never know. But that's what I thought was going to happen. Not going to be the case, but I love it. I love how they're... Bronson Reed, I don't think I mentioned this. The way they've been booking him since SummerSlam is reminding me of Samoa Joe when he was trying to get his rematch against Shinsuke Nakamura after he dropped the NXT title in 2016. What he's doing with this whole rampage on Raw, with his attack on Seth Rollins and a few other people, he's just laid out with tsunami after tsunami after tsunami, is reminding me of that booking right there. So I hope that this does work out. I do think Bronson should win the first match. I really do. And hopefully this is going to escalate him into the main event scene. And eventually, probably win a championship too. We'll have to wait and see. But that stuff, again, was definitely some of the best stuff on the show. Probably the best stuff. Damage Control doing an interview backstage. They mentioned that the metaphors, Jakara, Jackson, and Lash Legend, are just in the way, and they're not done with Bianca and Jade either. They have Liv and Raquel roll up, and Liv shoos the interviewer off, and addresses Nia Jax, and says how Nia's jealous of her because she has it all, and she's going to have the god-awful, gaudy, Crown Jewel title as well. Yes, again, that... Okay, the title looks nice. Again, though, there's just no point to it. But, anyways, they start bickering, though, with Damage Control, and it sets up for a tag match later on in the show. Liv and Raquel versus Io and Kairi. Cool. We got a couple hype reels throughout the night of for the main event, which again is Braun Breaker and Jey Uso for the IC title. Then we have the first of the two qualifying matches for the number one contenders match for the World Tag Titles. The first match we have the Authors of Pain versus the New Day. Match was fine. Miz was at ringside. I guess he is a part of the Final Testament now. I guess he has fully been consumed and influenced by Karrion Kross, from what I can tell. Towards the end of the match, though, R-Truth jumps out and he attacks The Miz. And based off of some chaos there, Kofi Kingston was able to capitalize on the roll-up, and the New Day get the victory over the Authors of Pain. I guess to keep the suspense going from when that turn from Xavier Woods or Kofi, whatever the New Day break up, I guess you had to get to the win here. I just wanted to see Final Testament get some sort of victory here. They really need a big victory. Back to the match, though. The Final Testament does attack R-Truth because he cost them the match. Kofi Kingston wants to make the save, but Xavier Woods tells him, nope, it's not our problem. We have the focus on the tag teams. We can't focus on them. So, Truth has no help until the lights go out. And the Wyatt Six make an appearance. And they brawl with the Final Testament. Miz, of course, scared to death, hides under the ring. Bunko Howdy got him, and then it ends with Paul Ellering, who had saved the Miz and took a bullet for him. He got taken down with the Mandible Claw. So I'm interested to see what this feud goes with the Final Testament and Wyatt Six, because especially since I've heard in interviews before the whole Bobby Lashley stuff happened, originally they were teased for WrestleMania 39. Apparently, Karrion Kross claims he was supposed to work with Bray Wyatt originally WrestleMania 39. So I view that as that was probably a character building feud. Now that his group is feud with the Wyatt Six, we'll see what that does. Because I am just dying to see Karrion Kross and the Final Testament get some sort of momentum. So hopefully a feud with the Wyatt Six does help. I am interested to see, of course, where that goes. We'll just have to wait and see. We had a recap of the Bloodline drama from SmackDown with Jey Uso going to confront Solo to say stop dividing the family, and then of course Roman and Jey having their first interaction, and goes, man, no yeet, and how at the end of the night Jey didn't come back to save Jimmy and Roman in the closing segment of the show. Raquel also gets a promo where she talks about Rhea Ripley, and of course how she costed her, put her on the shelf as well, just like Liv, which again makes sense. So it's just as long as she's around, she's never winning Liv's title back. We then had Damage Control versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Match was what it was. They'll win by DQ because, well, Damage Control wins by DQ because Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson attacked from the crowd. And just some chaos happened. Rhea Ripley gets out trying to chase down Liv Morgan, trying to prison trap her, but she escapes, and I guess Rhea then was able to get it put on, the prison trap put on Dom, but Liv saved him, and yeah, like I said, we're definitely not done with this, but I still feel like we need to take a break from this. I need to see Liv doing something else with this character besides her feud with Rhea, which I still think should have been ending if it wasn't for that botched ending. But like I said, we need to take a break from this and come back to it. Just my thought, but you know, what do I know? We'll see what happens. We then have the War Raiders having a vignette about their recent repackaging. Again, they are the first of 3 teams who will be fighting in the number 1 contenders triple threat match next week, and the winner will fight Judgment Day for the World Tag Titles. We have a Judgment Day Clubhouse segment where Raquel Rodriguez is losing her mind, but Liv pulls her in to focus on the Crown Jewel Championship. Finn says he and JD can handle any tag team around, but he's worried that Damian Priest is going to get the world title again. And then Dom says, maybe I'll go after it. And everybody laughs off like, haha, yeah, right. And then Raquel asks Carlito, what do you even do around here? And funny enough, I read some rumor that they may be breaking Carlito away from Judgment Day to be a single star. Which, honestly, yeah, kind of feel like he needs to do that. I don't know. Him just being in the Judgment Day, like, under the occasional, that's cool. He's a freaking jobber right now. So maybe breaking him free will kind of get some steam in him again. We'll see. But anyways, so he basically says he wants to be the fixer. So he's going to go talk to Adam Pearce and get Dom a title shot. Haha, yeah, right. He like Dominic Mysterio is actually going to beat Gunther. I will believe it when I see that. The second of the qualifying matches for the tag team champion number contenders match, triple threat again. Winner faces New Day and War Raiders. But this match was LWO's Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus American-made Creed brothers. I guess the only part that bothered me about this match, other than the fact it was fine, was the fact that the LWO won. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have rather have had American-made get put in the match to get the win, because, again, they lost 3 times to the Wyatt 6. They should be getting some other win here, and the LWO doesn't really need it. To be honest, is anybody else kind of just done with the LWO? Like, no offense to anybody involved with it, but it's just like, it's just their face stable, in my opinion. But, whatever, it's still Dragon Lee kind of getting some momentum as well, too, and I love Dragon Lee, but he gets the victory. Adam Pearce has a backstage where, well, first he talks with Damage Control. And he promises he'll make up for Metaphor interfering. He just needs to talk to the other GMs, which that was setting up for. They had a tag match on NXT last night, I believe it is. Carlito then rolls up, and he pitches the idea of Gunther getting a world title match, which Adam Pearce laughs off for saying, Dom needs to earn it. And Carlito is here to get him that shot because he is a fixer. He then tells him, fine, if Dom can beat a former world champion next week, he'll give him a title shot. So who that's going to be, I have no idea. Heck, maybe it'll be his father again, who knows, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe it's a surprise for all we know. But also, before we move on, let's briefly address this as well. Carlito apparently is in a little bit of hot water right now, because he ad-libbed the line in this segment saying something like, I need to learn Chinese or something like that. He was referring to Io Sky and Kairi Sane because they were nearby. He got some heat because apparently 2 cultures being mistaken for one another, it doesn't sit well with the other, from what I've heard. I don't like really giving my opinions on stuff like this because I respect, any culture and, what they tolerate, what they don't tolerate. My honest opinion, I heard it wasn't scripted. It was apparently ad-libbed. If Carlito did it on purpose to be a jerk, then yes, he deserves to be in hot water. But if it was just a pure accident or pure mix-up, he just needs to apologize. Because I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he just accidentally screwed it up. So, whatever happens with that, hopefully Carlito doesn't get punished too much for it. And like I said, if the idea is to make him a single star again, I kind of think so. He needs it too. So, hopefully that part happens. Again, hopefully, if he did in fact accidentally say that, just do the right thing and apologize. That's the thing I've learned. Even if you don't mean it a certain way, but if it still bothers someone, you still say sorry. It's like, I didn't mean to, have it come across like it did, but if it did, then I'm sorry. It's simple. So, that's all I gotta say about that, and move on. And let's move on from there. Braun Breaker was interviewed backstage saying he respects Jey Uso, but he's not focused, and that's why Jay's gonna lose. You hear any dogs barking in Philly? Which we were in Philly this past week, by the way, if I didn't mention at the beginning. But as he's making his entrance, Gunther has a backstage segment. talks about what would win the Crown Jewel title will mean. And he says that he would establish a much better legacy for it than Cody would. Because he is one of one. And everything he touches turns into gold, which is true. Damian then rolls up and tells, yo, relax. I'm going to let you deal with, what you're doing. And I'm still handling my issues with Judgment Day. So he still wants to know, though, no matter what happens, he wants to get this world title back. Because he technically should have never lost it. He's not looking for a handout. He's going to earn it. But when Gunther comes back from Crown Jewel, he's going to have a problem with Damian Priest. So, I guess at some point, Priest is going to go get a rematch. Unless if this feud Judgment Day continues. Even that one, again, I'm getting a little bit like, okay, can we move on from this as well, too? But, whatever. The main event was Jey Uso, the Intercontinental Champion, defending against Bron Breakker. Match got a lot of time. Of course, there was a lot of commercial breaks. But I thought it was a very well done match. With some interesting twists in it. We expected the Bloodline to show up, which in fact they did. Of course, Solo shows up holding up these tickets, as in like, we got tickets, even though he came with paper tickets, and who comes with paper tickets anymore? But he claims he was just trying to help Jey. But Jey just immediately didn't trust him. Because the moment Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa try crawling over, Jey starts super kicking. And Solo's like, what are you doing? We're just trying to help you. Jay's not falling for it. And then an interesting spot, course 2, was that Bron was trying to do his thing where he like makes a victory lap and goes for the spear. When he got closer, Solo pushed Jey out of the way and took the bullet for him. Which was kind of shocking that happened. And then, of course, the moment Jey started disobeying Solo, that's when Jacob Fatu got involved. Well, first, there was a nice near fall. Jey did have a spear on Bron. He did go up and do the Uso splash. It wasn't enough to keep him down, though. So, it's not like they made it seem like Jey had no chance. They made it close. They didn't make either one of them look weak. Because eventually, Jacob Fatu, when Jey tries to imitate Braun's victory lap spear, Jacob Fatu got involved, and when the referee wasn't looking, he hit a Samoa drop on Jey through the announce table. Now, I should also mention, too, there was a stare down also with Bron Breakker and Jacob Fatu, which that is big. Don't be surprised if in a couple years, that's a WrestleMania main event. Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker. That gave me chills. But off, the distractions there, Bron was able to slip in a victory. He did regain the Intercontinental Championship as I expected. And now Jey has a reason to want to get revenge on the Bloodline. But of course, will he be cool with trying to work side by side with Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns? You see, now I'm starting to think, because I know Triple H wouldn't rush, like a reunion like this. Like, this is one that's gone on for such a long term that it even needs a little more time than when when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens basically forgave each other and decided to work together. Like, I think Jey will work with Roman and Jimmy going into Survivor Series, but only because they have a common enemy. It's still going to take a while until Jey fully reconciles with them as well. But yes, as expected, Bron retained the title. I expected that to do so, but it's set up for Jey to go after the Bloodline. And I thought I saw a rumor that there is already a rematch for Crown Jewel between Bron and Jey. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think Jey's winning that title back anytime soon. But yeah, heartbreaker, but told the story right. We'll see where it goes. So guys, that is my thoughts, though, on this week's episode of Raw. And again, this is the final Raw review of 2024. Again, as I take a brief break from some structure stuff. Again, channel will still be active. Things will still be posted. I'm just taking a breather. So I gave Raw this week I'll be generous to give it a B+. Again, there was some stuff like the women's stuff was a little meh, whatnot, but I love the stuff with Bron and Jay. I love, of course, the most with the stuff going on with Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. Tag team picture's interesting. Again, I just wish like we would have gotten like American Made or Final Testament in the win. But I am excited about the Final Testament and Wyatt 6 feud. And we'll see where it all goes. So what are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode of Raw? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'll check it out. Until 2025, we will be back then with Raw reviews. It's been great, guys. We've definitely had a little bit of a transition with the new graphics here. And again, I look forward to resuming these reviews in 2025 once I get settled in the fatherhood. So, guys, thank you guys as always for your support. I'm checking out later. I'll see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be. Well, of course, following this video, we'll also premiere Part 4 of the Vince McMahon docu-series reviews. So that will be the next video you see on the channel. Until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!